Paperwork confirming that Big Meech snitched on Cuffy was just exposed by 50 Cent, and allegedly, even Rick Ross has decided to step away from Big Meech. What did Big Meech say to 50 Cent that made him so angry? And did Big Meech really snitch on Cuffy to get out early? Let's find out.
He was convicted of running a huge criminal enterprise stretching from Atlanta to Detroit and several other states. The story of Big Meech, who headed up the Black Mafia family, is also the source of a popular TV show that has been filmed right here in Atlanta. And this week, after serving nearly 20 years in prison for racketeering, drug dealing, and running a criminal enterprise, he is out of prison. 11 Alive's Erica Murphy has more on his release and his sordid past.
But skis this life pushed up knees again that will build your car wolves as I said I had neatness your life was kneeling was there's not a run a shield was there's not a hurry but this life push dealer and see on CD in yours in the share back goes the girl was you're not gonna when I erase there was in a ear and elf team
was the first group that was accused of being both a criminal organization and a record label.
Attorney Josh Schiffers says Demetrius, also known as Big Meech, is highly regarded because he never took a deal or snitched on his co-conspirators.
And he went down. And when he went down, he and his brother were sentenced to 30 years in prison.
In 2020, Terry Flannery was released, and just this week, Big Meech was released from prison. He will serve the remainder of his sentence at a halfway house in Miami. Reporting from Atlanta, Erica Murphy, 11 Alive News.
Back in the early 2000s, Big Meech was heading the Black Mafia family record label and running one of the largest crime syndicates in the Southwest. BMF was huge back then, both as a record label and as a gang, allegedly pulling in more than $250 million by the time Big Meech was finally arrested in 2008. Big Meech was sentenced to 30 years behind bars, but just a few weeks ago, his sentence got reduced to 15 years and he got out early. While Big Meech was behind bars, 50 was the one taking care of his family. 50 put Meech's son through acting school and even got him a major role in a show he was making about BMF.
When I first met 50, I was still trying to find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? I'm like, shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready. So I met 50. 50 put me in acting classes for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting classes. I had to go every day, two times a day, 5 days a week. In the morning, in the afternoon, come back home, study again, do the same thing the next day.
Wow, but a ball player.
Yeah, but I put in the work though, and it showed me that 50 couldn't get me the job. I had to get myself the job. My dad couldn't get me the job. They would have hired somebody else that already had acting experience. I had no experience. So I was coming from the street to the screen, so they not gonna invest all these millions into me and I don't know what I'm doing.
Despite 50 literally saving Big Meech's family and keeping BMF's name alive, as soon as Big Meech got out, he started hanging out with Rick Ross. In case you don't know, Rick Ross and 50 have serious beef, and Rick knew that this would piss 50 off. Why was Big Meech doing this? Well, allegedly, Rick Ross was paying him or something, but no one really knows, honestly.
February 13th, the Big Meech Home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, this the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. It's gonna be special. Epic. Get your tickets right now. I'm back.
When 50 saw Big Meech hanging out with Ross, he flipped out and revealed to everyone the real reason why Big Meech got out so early. Meech himself was saying that he got out early because of good behavior, but like always, 50 had receipts. He revealed that the real reason Meech was let out was because he snitched on another dealer named Cuffy. Allegedly, Big Meech third party cooperated with the feds.
Trying to let nobody trick me off the street.
You tricked Cuff off the street?
I never folded, never told.
You
never
told Tammy to tell, bitch.
Before this time, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family.
Y'all gonna be disappointed when Lil Baby don't show up? When Skilla don't show up, when Vizzo don't show up? When all these motherfuckers don't show up?
I wasn't gonna address this.
Man, this nigga reading drops, man. Look at you reading this shit.
But I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me. So I'm doing this for my loved ones and the support of my friends and family. Come out to the Amaran Arena.
He can't even go. You want house arrest, he can't even go.
Now this is where things get interesting. Meech allegedly asked Tammy Cowens, a friend of his mom, to snitch on Cuffy for him and gave her his life rights in return. Tammy then worked as a criminal informant and fed information to the feds. All of this was shown in the paperwork 50 posted and the alleged voice recordings he had of Tammy Cowens. 50 bought Big Meech's life rights when he wanted to make the show on BMF, so 50 knew everything.
I agree. It's unfortunate, right?
Yeah.
It really is, but I agree. So, we'll just let it be told when the story gets told.
Yeah,
and I'm only going to stick to the truth and keep it pushing, right?
That's it. That's all it is.
It says, United States of America versus plaintiff, and it says, Donnie Gatlin, Timothy.
Deion Gatlin. Shout out
Deion
Cuff.
Gatlin.
Shout out Cuff. That's my nigga Cuff. Deion Gatlin. Yeah, he's one of the first defendants. Yeah.
Okay.
St. Louis Project niggas. What's happening?
So, can you kind of break down this paperwork for me and how she's involved in this? And where can I go?
Tammy Cowens is Big Meech personal assistant / business partner / whatever you want to call. You know what I'm saying? Basically, she became the owner of what Meech has as BMF Entertainment, his company from prison. His company, she became the owner of it in 2008. And in 2009, she became a government informant. In 2010, she did a case that was pertaining to a guy that Meech met in prison and one of Meech's homeboys of 26 years.
Okay. Now, in this paperwork, it doesn't actually say her name.
Right, yeah. You will have to, it don't say her name. It say her name on paper on the cover sheet, her actual name. But this is a case, so they're not gonna be saying the witnesses' names in the case. They're gonna call them CS1 or CSOI or something like that, confidential source or whatever. It's confidential, bro. It's not public. That, you know what I'm saying? The snitch on the case is not public. You feel me? Until maybe after the case and the people was put away in prison and they out of government hiding and all that shit, and then you get some paperwork and then you might see it. Outside of that, you got to be tapped in. You got to have that pacer. Got to be able to pull cover sheets and shit like that. But when people read the affidavit, it explains to you exactly who she is. And then when people follow or know, or once you get to understand this situation, then you'll get to see exactly who Tammy Cowens is.
Kind of debatable for some people. We learned that from Blue Da Vinci that the CSI has sex with the agent. That's why Meech didn't get his time cut from cooperating with falsified reports to justify the improper payment.
50 even posted a phone call where all of this was being discussed. There's a signed affidavit where Tammy Cowens says she snitched on Cuffy on behalf of Big Meech. Now, the streets don't play when it comes to snitching, and the only reason everyone respected Meech so much was because they thought he would never flip.
It's called Tammy Cowens. She's privileged to what's called the affidavits in support of the wiretaps.
Okay.
It's like 3 affidavits. In those affidavits, it tells Meech's full role. Now, I wasn't allowed to have them because they played this, I'm this kingpin and I'm this killer, and they life in jeopardy,
right,
in danger.
Right.
That's why they was able to close the courtroom. We'd have been out at Meech. But they played a cold game. I give it to her. And they was playing chess and we was playing checkers.
Okay.
She used the threat of her life and that I was gonna have some hitmen in the federal courtroom to kill her. And they closed the courtroom to the media. My shit standing room only. I'm that dude in that city, homie.
Right.
I'm that dude in that city.
Right.
So that's why they ain't been came out. But the affidavits in support of the wiretap, she has them.
So she can get them for sure.
If she got them.
Okay.
She got them. The only person they barred from having the documents was me.
Okay. So you the only one that don't got the information.
Right.
Gotcha.
Everybody else, it's called discovery. Everybody else got the pack.
Cuffy is behind bars now, and he says that Tammy testified during his trial about how she was there for Big Meech. If it wasn't for Big Meech, there's a good chance that Cuffy would be out right now. As you can probably guess, Cuffy isn't a fan of Meech right now. Everyone in the industry now thinks that Meech is a rat and has lost all respect for him.
But I'm in here with a 27-year sentence based on Demetrius Flannery, as you all know as Big Meech, and Tammy Cowens, known in the paperwork as CS1.
Right.
Confidential source 1. So what Big Meech did was call a third-party cooperation. So Tammy Cowens signed up to be a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut, plain and simple.
Right. So
okay, so can you break down the story? Like, how do you know this? And how'd you come upon this information?
how do you know? How do you came upon this information though?
We were rewarded what's called a Franks hearing. It's based on a case called U.S. versus Frank. So I would implore your listeners to look the case up. And what a Franks hearing entails is that you're able to cross-examine your accusers, meaning government agents, meaning informants, and so on and so forth, just like a regular trial. So this was testified in court.
Period. Point blank.
This was testified in court that I became a government informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut.
That's what was said on the stand, bro. The lady became a government informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut.
It's clearly on your paperwork. After
his name is in the paperwork, man. This woman testified. This woman testified in a court of law that she became a DEA informant to give Demetrius Flannery a time cut. You feel me? It don't get any clearer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know most niggas don't understand paperwork. So I mean, and that's crazy to me because you niggas call yourself street and you out in the streets, but you don't understand what these white folks are doing. That's crazy to me.
Uh-huh. And I'm going to attribute a lot of that to maybe they never dealt with the system, but that's what we here for, to educate them, I guess, on that, because all you got to do is follow the dots with this one, because that's when we bring up you, we have to bring up a guy by the name of Suarez.
Fidel Suarez. Fidel Suarez met Demetrius Flannery in the county jail. He's a cartel member out of Los Angeles. Super good dude. Fidel beat the feds in trial and went home. But he exchanged information with Big Meech and was trying to help him. Whatever he needed, you know what I mean? Dude was down for that. Okay. So Big Meech and Tammy was initially trying to target Fidel. You feel me?
Uh-huh.
Industry insiders like Tony Yeo and WAC 100 have also given their thoughts on the entire situation, and basically they think that Big Meech ain't beating the snitching allegations anytime soon. Once your name is in the paperwork, what are you even going to say?
It was the person that Meech was working with that he gave the life rights to that actually worked on the TV show with 50, right?
Right. Yeah, because it was so-called third-party snitching. But nobody knew what Tammy looked like until Fifth started posting her up. Then I knew who Tammy was looking like. But like I said, when I took the picture, it was me murdering 50 and I posted it. It was a lot of rat emojis on there. So before Fifth even said anything, there was accusations. And I'm not saying if a nigga told or not, because now I hear niggas are suing and all that. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not saying a nigga told or didn't. I didn't see no paperwork. But I'm telling you that when I put that picture up, people were saying negative things. I don't know Cuffy. I just seen Blue Da Vinci interview. You know, I watch YouTube. I watch everything on YouTube. I fucking love YouTube. So, like, I just was watching Blue Da Vinci interview with Cuffy, and he was explaining the third-party snitching. You know how the game is. Like, yo, once a person feel like your name is on some paperwork, jail or streets, you're not valid. No matter where you go in this world, you can go to fucking London, fucking Canada, you can go to anywhere. There's a hood anywhere. Once a nigga here, you on paperwork, you not valid out the country. You can go be in another country, and a nigga might tell a nigga, yo, that nigga not valid. That nigga tell him. Because once you get in this game, you already knows what it come with.
What he said was that Meech never cooperated, but there is a woman who Meech knows that I guess he ended up giving his life rights to.
Third party cooperating.
Third party cooperating.
Which is him cooperating.
Oh, you think that's him cooperating?
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah,
because she cooperates. She's a producer on the Stars TV show.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Meech just parole, right?
Yes.
He's on house arrest, right? He's on house arrest with Lil Meech's mama, right? Lil Meech stars in the show, right?
Yes.
Why didn't she have the life rights?
Well, you don't necessarily always always do business with your kid's mother if they're not.
Stop. What business is he doing with the cooperating?
Well, his life rights.
Okay. So when you're doing business with somebody, you're doing something for them and they're doing something for you, right?
Betraying 50 isn't something that you can just walk away from. 50 didn't just stop at exposing Big Meech. He set out to completely destroy the man. When Big Meech got out, Rick Ross announced that they would be holding a concert to celebrate the return of BMF. No one really knows how 50 did it, but 3 hours before the concert was supposed to start, IRS officers stepped in and shut down the whole thing.
The only artist we really saw back out was Lil Baby, formally, right?
Now, who's tied to Lil Baby?
Shit.
No.
Thug,
Wait, who?
Young Thug.
No, look
bunch
at
of
that.
other people.
Look at that.
On the same bill? I mean,
Who's tied to Little Baby?
21 Savage and
No,
him,
no,
probably,
no.
right?
That's a strong one.
Okay.
See that 42 Doug?
42 Doug,
Where 42
yeah.
Doug from?
Detroit.
Well, who he tied to?
Probably some BMF shit
No,
is what you're
he
getting
tied
at?
to Little Baby.
Okay, right, yeah.
Whatever way Little Baby move, he gonna move. Now, I don't know how Little Baby got the paperwork. I'm lying. I sent it to him. Yeah, I sent it to him. I sent it to nephew. I sent it to him on the 3rd.
But
February
okay,
3rd.
Lil Baby canceled or
Lil Baby real
weeks in advance. But then they end up posting this new flyer anyway with him still on it. But then what about the rest of the artists?
Okay, when you get a great amount of that right there that pulls back, they got to cancel it because, first of all,
But
Big
we
Meech,
only know of one person
look,
canceling.
Big Meech was getting paid $80,000 on the WAP, right?
Uh-huh.
The artist is in a situation where they can cancel. You know why? They was doing it for free, so there's no contractual obligation for them to show up.
I just figured out that canceled is acceptable with 1 L or 2 Ls.
Yeah.
I had to Google
right?
it real quick.
There's no contractual obligation for them to come because they didn't get paid nothing, right? You had Lil Boosie take a run at it and promote it, right?
Yeah, and they put out like a new version of the flyer with his name on top of it.
It's two sides of it. The second side is the tickets stopped selling.
See, they told me that there was still tons of tickets left for sale
The
day
tickets
of.
stopped selling, right?
That's confusing to me.
The people, because listen,
This is as a fan, that is a show I would 100% pay to go
coming to support Big Meech as Big Meech. We've been telling y'all he's a rat. Salute to Cuffy, St. Louis stand up. Salute to Cuffy's daughter. Niecy, I'm gonna call in check with you. But now that 50 got it, 50 had the key.
Boozy confirmed that most of the artists scheduled to perform had already arrived at the venue when the IRS came. Boozy says that everyone knows it was 50 who had the concert shut down. Big Meech's son, Lil Meech, has been posting continuously on social media after his dad's show was shut down, and every post is throwing shade at 50.